successful marriage is definitely communication, respect, and that means not just respecting your partner, but also yourself.
Jackie's $300 million divorce from Doug.
Jackie's $300 million 0 cents divorce from Doug wasn't just your average messy breakup. No, this was a front-page, paparazzi-chasing, courtroom thriller-level spectacle. After decades of marriage and what looked like unwavering love, Jackie dropped the bomb. She filed for divorce and played the role of the betrayed, heartbroken wife flawlessly. And the media? Oh, they devoured every second of it. Headlines painted Doug as the villain, the cold, distant husband, the man who didn't appreciate the woman who stood by him during his NBA career. Jackie was the martyr, the misunderstood queen. Doug, he was public enemy number one. But baby, Doug wasn't about to let that narrative slide. While Jackie had public sympathy, Doug had something way more powerful: proof. Receipts, evidence. And when his legal pit bulls got to work, the story flipped faster than a reality show twist. What they uncovered was jaw-dropping. Hidden bank accounts, suspicious business moves, a premeditated media setup. Jackie wasn't just emotional, she was strategic. She thought she had Doug trapped in the corner, but Doug, he was just waiting to strike. By the time this thing made it to court, Jackie's Cinderella story was unraveling thread by thread. What started as a high-profile divorce suddenly looked like a full-blown scandal, and not for Doug, but for Jackie. Doug came in swinging, flipping the narrative on its head. With every court hearing, every press leak, Jackie's perfectly curated image started crumbling. And this wasn't about love lost anymore. This was about betrayal, manipulation, and a scheme that ran deep, $300 million 0 cents deep. After nearly 30 years of marriage, Doug and Jackie Christie, yes, the same couple who renew their vows every single year like clockwork, were done. The same Jackie who hovered over Doug like a bodyguard, making sure no female reporter even breathed near him, now wanted to walk away with a $300 million 0 cents payday. Chilly. Who saw that coming? This was the couple people looked up to. Doug, the ever-loyal NBA husband. Jackie, the fierce wife never letting go. But behind the mushy vow renewals and reality TV glitz, cracks were forming, big ones. There's been no official reason for the divorce, but if you followed them over the years, you know their marriage was anything but normal. Jackie was always intensely protective of Doug. Some say controlling. From screening his phone calls to regulating his public appearances, Jackie had eyes on everything. Doug once admitted it himself. She's always been very protective. I can't even talk to certain people without her stepping in. But now, the tables had flipped. Doug wasn't playing the pushover anymore. When Jackie slammed him with that outrageous $300 million 0 cents demand, Doug didn't flinch. He lawyered up, big time. And make no mistake, Doug's legal team went to war. They started poking through every document, every deal, every vow renewal clause. And Doug, he wasn't just trying to save his money, he was trying to expose what he believed was a calculated, manipulative setup. Doug's side argued hard. Jackie didn't need the money, she had her own bag, she was a businesswoman, a TV personality, why the massive grab? Doug reportedly said it best. I've worked hard for everything I have. I can't just let her take it all based on a scheme, because let's not forget, Jackie wasn't just some stay-at-home spouse. She had her hands in businesses. She was building her own empire alongside Doug. So why act like she was suddenly broke? Was she just being her dramatic self again? Like the time she flipped over Malaysia Pargo, missing one of her events? Or did she truly think she was owed that kind of cash? Either way, this divorce was spinning out of control. Doug stood firm, Jackie pushed harder. Their bond, once unbreakable, was now shattered in court filings and press clippings. And then came the bombshells. Doug's team started digging through Jackie's finances. What they found? Nothing short of scandalous. Massive wire transfers, questionable withdrawals, money moving through accounts with no explanation. Something wasn't right. And then came Melissa, Jackie's former assistant. Oh yes, she switched teams. Melissa started talking to Doug's lawyers. And what she had to say? Baby, it blew the roof off the courtroom. According to sources, Melissa claimed Jackie had been planning this for a long time. She had mapped out a media attack before filing. Her goal? Destroy Doug's image in public before he could defend himself in court. Even more disturbing, Melissa claimed Jackie paid tabloids to print negative stories about Doug. Think about that. She allegedly planted fake narratives just to poison the public opinion before a single legal document was even signed. That's not drama, that's strategy. Doug's lawyers weren't playing anymore. What once looked like a civil divorce was now shifting into criminal territory. With secret bank moves, media manipulation, and a blueprint of sabotage, it wasn't about money anymore. This was a war. At first, Jackie thought she'd stroll into court, play the victim, and walk out a millionaire, but now she might walk out facing real charges. From power couple to courtroom enemies, Jackie and Doug's breakup was no longer just celebrity gossip. It was a full-blown legal thriller, and the final showdown, it was just beginning. Jackie Christie had spent decades controlling the narrative. Loyal wife, reality TV star, the backbone of Doug's success. But now, that whole image was crashing down, and fast. Doug's legal team wasn't just playing defense anymore. They went full offense and exposed some of the shadiest financial activity this side of Hollywood. Jackie hadn't just asked for $300 million, 0 cents. Sis had already started acting like she had it in the bank. Investigators traced suspicious activity across multiple accounts, offshore banking, wire transfers, hidden side ventures, and those cash withdrawals, enormous. She'd been stashing and moving money like a Wall Street wolf in heels, and yet she claimed she was broke. Doug's lawyers lined up every receipt. Jackie had spent years painting herself as financially dependent, but the tax records, the real estate purchases, the undeclared income, it all told a different story. And the court? Oh, they were paying attention. As Doug famously said, the numbers don't lie. When the bank statements hit the courtroom, jaws dropped. This wasn't light suspicion. This was clear as day. Money had been moved around like pieces on a chessboard, and Jackie was the one making all the moves. She had undisclosed income, luxury property deals, and business investments she conveniently forgot to mention when demanding Doug's millions. And then came the real twist. Melissa again. She dropped a bombshell that made the courtroom gasp. According to Melissa, Jackie had intentionally crafted this divorce as a PR hit job. She had been working behind the scenes for months, paying tabloids, reaching out to shady media blogs, and even leaking fake stories to damage Doug's brand. One source said it best. She wasn't just divorcing Doug, she was trying to destroy him. Doug's attorneys even had the receipts, wire transfers to tabloid outlets, emails with gossip editors, all with one mission: make Doug look like a cheater, a liar, a monster. And for a while, it worked. The public turned on Doug. Influencers slammed him, Twitter ran wild, but then came the court hearings, and baby, the truth came out swinging. Legal experts chimed in. If Jackie misrepresented her finances or manipulated evidence, she could be looking at criminal charges, fraud, perjury, intentional deception. And at that point, Jackie wasn't just fighting for money anymore. She was fighting to keep her freedom. Doug, meanwhile, stood tall. He'd kept quiet, he'd played the long game, and now it was paying off. The court started seeing through the glitter, the reality show persona, the headlines. Jackie's confidence began to fade. Her legal team scrambled to spin the damage, but Melissa wasn't done. She exposed it all. Every negative tabloid leak, Jackie. Every rumor, Jackie. The media slander, paid for, signed, and sealed by Jackie herself. She even went after Doug's business contacts, feeding information to his competitors. This wasn't divorce. This was corporate sabotage. Court records revealed she passed along client lists, contract details, future product strategies. Everything Doug had built, she tried to dismantle from the inside. And still, she wanted $300 million, 0 cents? Please. Doug's team presented every last detail in court. Jackie had been smiling for the cameras while scheming in the shadows. Her courtroom persona, soft-spoken, tearful, just a woman scorned, was now looking like a full-blown act. And the audience, they weren't buying tickets anymore. Once Melissa's testimony went public, social media exploded. Jackie went from reality TV royalty to scandal magnet. The hashtags were ruthless. Her former supporters started turning. Even her friends? Quiet, distant, silent. The final nail? Doug's team revealed documents linking Jackie to offshore accounts. Structured, layered, and clearly meant to hide money. This wasn't someone protecting her income. This was someone trying to bury it. Jackie's whole case had been built on the idea that she needed financial support. But the court now had proof that she'd been secretly building her own empire while trying to tear down Doug's. And that wasn't just shady, it was possibly illegal. Now, the judge wasn't just considering the divorce settlement. They were reviewing evidence of fraud, manipulation, and even fabricated court documents. Doug? He walked out of that courtroom with his head held high. He didn't have to scream or bash Jackie. He just let the truth speak. Jackie had gone in expecting a $300 million 0 cents victory. What she walked out with was a public disaster and the very real threat of criminal prosecution. Jackie thought she had it all figured out. The perfect narrative, the perfect payout, the perfect fall guy, Doug. But the script she tried to write for this $300 million 0 cents divorce? Yeah, it's now reading like a tragic downfall. When Doug's legal team revealed that Jackie had been working with his competitors behind the scenes, the courtroom froze. This was bigger than personal betrayal. It was corporate warfare. Email trails, phone records, financial logs, all showing Jackie was feeding info to Doug's biggest business rivals. She wasn't just trying to break his heart, she was trying to break his empire. Doug had spent years building his brand, nurturing relationships, sealing million-dollar deals, and the very woman he thought was riding with him was the one leaking confidential strategies. Jackie had been enjoying the private jets and and luxury villas, all while plotting behind his back. And guess what? Doug's lawyers laid it all out in court like a PowerPoint presentation from hell. Jackie's face, ice, cold. Gone was the confident courtroom queen. In her place stood a woman watching her entire plan unravel in real time. At first, Jackie had the media in her pocket, tearful interviews, strategically leaked sources, sympathy from fans, followers, and influencers who believed she was the one left behind. But baby, once Doug's team brought out the receipts and Melissa's testimony, that sympathy turned into side eyes real quick. People started asking the real questions. Was Jackie ever the victim? Or was she the mastermind all along? And just when it couldn't get worse for her, Doug's lawyers dropped one final bombshell. Jackie had hidden money that wasn't even hers to begin with. Yep, according to new evidence, some of the funds she moved into offshore accounts were tied to joint ventures and shared investments. Translation, she had dipped into the pot before the divorce was even filed. That's a big no-no, folks. Law enforcement took notice. Reports surfaced that investigators were now digging into Jackie's business dealings, tax records, and international wire transfers. She wasn't just being scrutinized by the judge. She was being watched by federal eyes. And suddenly, this wasn't just a divorce anymore. This was a full-blown financial scandal. Doug's legal team didn't just protect his assets. They exposed a years-long scheme that could have left him broke and publicly destroyed. And now, Jackie's the one who might be facing fines, lawsuits, or worse, jail time. Can you believe it? She had tried to spin this as a betrayal story, as the emotional woman who'd sacrificed so much for her husband only to be tossed aside. But the truth? The receipts, they told a whole different tale. Doug stayed quiet, focused, strategic. While Jackie played games with the press, he let his lawyers gather the evidence. And when it was finally time, boom. He flipped the whole situation in his favor. Jackie. She walked into court expecting a win. She walked out in shambles. The $300 million 0 cents payout? Gone. Her clean public image? Gone. That reality show glow? Gone. And the worst part, she might still be facing legal consequences that will haunt her for years. As for Doug, he's walking away with his fortune, his name, and now the truth on his side. He didn't need to scream or post shady tweets, he just had to wait. And now it's Jackie who's left scrambling to do damage control on the very narrative she created. So now the question is, will Jackie bounce back, or will Doug have the last laugh, both in court and in the public eye? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget, this story's far from over. There may still be more receipts to drop and more secrets waiting to surface. Thanks for watching, and don't miss the next bombshell. We'll be covering every twist and turn. Catch you in the next one.